real troubles, we can fight, defend ourselves, defend our students' rights, and win real gains. And we've got to, these schools need to be sanctuaries, bringing in all the programs, including after-school programs, including the community needs when it's under siege for layoffs and all the other social ills we face. And our union standing up in those kind of aggressive, assertive ways is going to have so much support, Granholm won't be able to touch us.
Well, I have clear differences between Brother Conn and me. Yeah. I do not advocate keeping a school open when there's nobody. It does not make practical sense. As I said, Finney High School has capacity for 1,500. If next year, if it's still open, if it has 400 and something students in it, do you still keep it open just so students who live 5 blocks from the school can go there? Is it feasible to continue that is operating at 1/3 of its capacity, to continue to pay for the lights, pay for the gas, pay for the water, pay for the engineer, pay for all the services relative to the upkeep of that building when there's nobody there? Or is it more productive? Is it more prudent to take those revenues and invest it into schools where you have students, complement of textbooks, so that they can have a full curriculum? That is the essence of what we are talking about here. At its peak, Detroit had 297,000 students. We now don't have 97,000 students. How much sense does it make to keep operating based upon memories of the past?
What happened to the teachers there? If you lost half the enrollment, did you lose half the teachers?
Not necessarily. That's why I said, Terry, I believe that forensic audit and zero-based budget deployed not only the teachers, but the support services that are so critical to our students' education, whether you're talking about attendance agents, school nurses, school psychologists, social workers, all of them are an integral part, child, which is the buzzword of the 21st century, the whole child. And in a community like Detroit, nowhere could it be more evident of the need to educate the whole child. So I would submit to you, and there's already contract language, that if, for example, Chadsey were to close, and all of those students from Chadsey are funneled over to Southwestern, then the staff from Chadsey also goes over to Southwestern. Get the optimum use of every dollar that you have, especially when you are operating in a disastrous climate like we are. Let me say one other thing. This is where knowledge and experience comes in handy. In 2006, we were able to identify $25 million in general purpose funds, programs and personnel that special purpose funds like Title I, Section 2, 31A could be used for. We did a conference call with Mike Flanagan, verified that we could use those funds. He said, you just got to cross this T, dot this I, and you can use those, you can free up those funds. So we go back to the bargaining table thinking we freed up purpose funds that could be used for, I don't know, maybe buying some books, maybe hiring a couple of teachers or something like that. We get back to the bargaining table and the district tells us, well, we understand that we can do this, but we choose not to because that money is already earmarked. Now, you have to have the resources and the knowledge in order to identify those types of funds. You can't just sit up there and negotiate based upon passion and what your members deserve, because what they deserve is never what's in question. It's what you deliver. And when people talk about going out, taking your members out, withholding services, it's not a decision that you can make with any degree of frivolity. I would take into consideration, number one, if I take you out, how am I going to bring you back? Because taking you out is the easy part. All I have to do is stand up there in front of you at Cobo, and say, this contract sucks. We aren't going to work. Second, but once I do that, then how do I get you back? Second, are the issues that are on the table, now this is a high school, so maybe the elementary prep period is not as significant to you as it is to an elementary teacher. So if it comes down to, do I take you back to work and give up the elementary prep, or do I keep you out from work and work to keep the elementary prep? Well, chances are you're going to say, look, everything else is fine. Let the we can deal with that another time. But if they're talking about reducing your pay, reducing your benefits, that type of thing impact. So yeah, that's an issue we're taking you out for. Number 3, when I bring you back, am I going to bring you back with at least as much as I took you out with? Because if I bring you back with less than I took you out with, then what was the point in taking you out? Last but not least, and this is the one that to me is the most critical. It's easy for anybody to get up there and talk about, yeah, we're going to walk out, we're going to withhold our services. And you remember back in 1991, I led us on a walkout here at Western International for 1 hour. But when you ask people, you're asking them as president to trust your ability to negotiate and trust your knowledge of what you are doing, to get them to withhold their means, not only of teaching their children, but providing for their children, for meeting their financial obligations at home, for paying for their child's tuition and all the other financial obligations that they have. So you can't just get up there and talk about, we're going to withhold our services until the district treats us right. Because you've got 8,000 people or so whose livelihood depends upon you and the decisions that you make. And there is no other candidate who is currently running who has bore that responsibility on their shoulders. No, I was not the president, but as director of operations, I was the most influential person sitting at that bargaining table other than the president at the time. So as I said, that's not the type of decision that you make with any frivolity, because you're playing with dealing with people's lives, and remember, you must save them from irreparable harm.
Any student council, any last word, anything?
I think we've covered so much.
We've covered so much. Well, since you opened, I'll close. Okay?
So you're speaking.
So I'll speak first. You have the last word.
Okay.
Okay.
Brief, though, guys.
Very
brief. At the last membership meeting, there was a 2-minute limit talked about something.
Right.
Now, I'm not.
Why don't we have somebody time us for a couple minutes?
Well, but believe me, mine will be very brief.
We got a clock with a minute.
Mine will be very brief.
Please.
As I told you, I believe that all are concerned about the membership and the future of this union. I know that Steve is. Steve and I may have different means of getting to the destination, but we do have the same destination. The only thing I wish to say to you is that at this point in time, this union needs a leader who has repeatedly demonstrated the knowledge and the ability to negotiate on behalf of its members and deliver to its members. Sometimes that means delivering that which does not make them happy, but delivers that which keeps them employed and keeps them able to be progressive. I ask you to think about my experience.